ganging up on Trump. Well, that's what Senator Ted Cruz and Governor John Kasich are doing. The two Trump opponents striking a deal to tag team Trump. Their goal, to deny Trump the GOP nomination. But Trump, he's not taking this lying down and immediately began launching fresh attacks aimed right between the eyes of his two opponents.
The John Kasich campaign announced that they're pulling out of Indiana, leaving this as a direct one-on-one choice for the people of Indiana between our campaign and Donald Trump.
It takes two guys, long-time politicians, to try and get together to try and beat Trump, and yet they're way behind.
I don't see this as any big deal, other than the fact I'm not going to spend resources in Indiana. He's not going to spend them in other places. So what? What's the big deal?
I have never seen a human being eat in such a disgusting fashion. I'm always telling my young son Barron, I'm saying, and I'm always with my kids, all of them, I'd say, children, small little bites, small. This guy takes a pancake and he's shoving it in his mouth. It's disgusting. Do you want that for your president? I don't think so.
There is desperation on the Trump side.
If you collude in business or if you collude in the stock market, they put you in jail. But in politics, because it's a rigged system, because it's a corrupt enterprise, in politics, you're allowed to collude.
It is now abundantly clear nobody's getting 12%.
It shows how weak they are. It shows how pathetic they are.
The two of us are competing to win the nomination and to make sure that we can steward our resources so we can stop Hillary Clinton.
It shows that they are just getting killed.
Nominating Donald would be a disaster for Republicans, for conservatives, for the country.
It's pathetic when two longtime insider politicians, establishment guys, have to collude, have to get together to try and beat a guy that really speaks what the people want.
Former 2016 GOP presidential candidate himself and Fox News contributor, Governor Mike Huckabee, goes on the record. Nice to see you, Governor. Welcome back.
Thank you very much, Greta. You know, it's very entertaining seeing all of that. But when it really gets down to it, I think it's going to be very difficult for Cruz and Kasich, even teaming up, to overcome the momentum that Donald Trump has going into tomorrow and then coming out of it. I'm just not sure that their plan really works. It looks like they're more interested in stopping Trump than they are in stopping Hillary.
Do you think that each one, thinks that by doing this he can get the nomination, or do you think the goal is simply, we've had it with Trump, we're going to do everything we can, we're going to throw nails under his tires?
Well, just a few weeks ago, Ted Cruz was saying that John Kasich should drop out of the race because he did not have a mathematical possibility or a pathway to the nomination. Well, we're very close to the point, I think we may be there, where Ted Cruz doesn't. So now the question is, will Ted Cruz take a big spoonful of his own medicine? Will he drop out of the race because he doesn't have a mathematical pathway? And that's going to be one of the questions I think reporters will be hammering him with over the next several days.
Is there any issue of credibility if you have no mathematical means of getting it? I suppose both gentlemen believe that they will get to a convention, that Donald Trump will not have 1,237, and it'll be contested, that they have some chance. But, do people lose credibility along the way?
Only if they say something that they then don't prove to even stand by. For example, if Ted Cruz says, you've got to get out if you don't have a mathematical pathway, and then you don't get out, then you lose credibility. If you say, look, I'm going full bore. I know I'm not going to get the nomination, at least not before the convention, but I'm going, and I'm going to get it on the second, third ballot. I'm going to blow the whole thing up, and that's how I plan to get it. Cruz has had this problem. Greta, back early on, he said he would win Iowa, then he said he would win South Carolina, he would win all the SEC states, he would lock it all up. Well, that didn't happen. He won Iowa, then he lost everywhere, all those SEC states. And until he turned it around in Texas, it wasn't happening, and he did not get the votes that he said he was going to get.
Have you endorsed, or just to put that on the table, or have you decided who you're going to vote for?
No, I've not endorsed, and, I voted for me. I liked me. I thought I was the best candidate, but I'm sitting here talking to you, so that didn't work out beautifully like I had hoped. What's that?
I think you'll get another chance at voting. There's an election coming up in November.
I will absolutely vote for the Republican. And if Ted Cruz, John Kasich, Donald Trump, doesn't matter. our nominee is going to get my support and my vote. Because, look, I'm a Republican. I pledged that I would do that, and I will keep my word to that.
Any thoughts about Donald Trump saying it's disgusting the way Governor Kasich eats?
Look, let's face it, Donald Trump says a lot of things because it amuses him and it amuses his audience. Honestly, I think Trump would be better off if he would leave off stuff like that, because if he's focusing on jobs and immigration and the things that brought him to the first place, I just think that's the message that people really are connecting to. And really nobody cares whether John Kasich eats a pancake in one bite. And the truth is, if you're a candidate, and I've been one for many years over the past 25 years, you go to a lot of places and people hand you food and they want you to try it and eat it. And yeah, you do some disgusting things along the way. But I don't think that hurts Kasich at all. I don't think it helps Trump at all to talk about his culinary habits. I
think, though, in all fairness to everybody involved with the media, should admit that we did a lot of talking about the fact that John Kasich used a fork with pizza. So, I mean, we're just as guilty of that discussion as well. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Governor.